J. Cole, Forest Hills Drive. Let's do a little review. J. Cole, he's a rapper, producer, overall nice guy. He's got a couple mixtapes, couple albums already. I don't know, maybe you've heard of him, maybe you haven't. Thing is, most people have heard those projects, so Forest Hills Drive kind of has this high bar set for itself. It's got big shoes to fill. So let's get into it. The second track on the album, January 28th, he calls himself a god. And I'm not really seeing that on this, to be fair. I'd rather an artist go out and make good songs, just a good song, you know what I mean? Good album, and prove that he's a god, he's a musical genius. To go out there and just say, like, I could sit here all day and say, I'm a god. Like, that doesn't make me a god. I'm just a guy hiding behind a laptop. J. Cole, he's just a guy hiding behind a mic. Like, okay, so, I don't know, I'm not crazy about it. Wet Dreams is the next track on here. And it's probably my favorite song on the album, actually. This song talks about how J. Cole lost his virginity, essentially. At first, I was like, okay, this is kind of whack. Like, I'm not gonna like this. But J. Cole actually paints a very descriptive image, very vivid image of the story of how he essentially lost his. And I think it's a good track. A lot of rappers are probably scared to touch on this, and props to him because in the rap game now, a lot of rappers are these big tough guys who always fuck chicks and they're always doing well. And he goes out and he says, "Oh, like he was nervous, whatever, whatever." Like, and it's true. Like I think a lot of people can relate to this track. My only gripe with this track is it ends kind of suddenly. It gets to the point where J. Cole's about to go in on this girl, if you know what I mean. And it just kind of, the track just kind of dies. And not that I want a vivid description of what happened, but it kind of leads me to assume that it wasn't great since he didn't talk about it. And that's okay. It's his first time, whatever, but I just thought he could have kind of ended it better. And that's all. Fourth track on here is '03 Adolescence. And it's an okay track. I wasn't crazy about it, but it's at this point I'm kind of realizing that Cole is trying really hard to kind of set this laid back kind of storytelling vibe on the album. And this kind of reflects in the production. It's just kind of this calm, slower beats, like not really anything big and in your face. Big and in your face. And don't get me wrong, I think Cole's a good storyteller, but I'm more of a fan of the power trips, the workouts. I think Cole's okay, but in terms of storytelling, I think artists like Kendrick Lamar is the most popular one. He just does a better job of telling stories, and they're even more interesting. Like, Cole's okay in this sense, but he just doesn't have that kind of raw, this like enticement, this thing that just sucks you into a story, you know? Now, the fifth track on this album, A Tale of Two Cities. This song kind of feels very Drake-esque, I want to say. The beat has these kind of trap hats going on, very hard-hitting bass, and it talks about cities. It's very Drake-esque. This is the formula that Drake's been following for his last few singles. Six God, 0 to 100, even Worse Behavior. It's just this kind of trap hat, hard hitting bass song. It's kind of a theme for the album. J. Cole's kind of going out and he's kind of taking bits and pieces from other rappers. He's getting this from Drake. He's getting that kind of storytelling from Kendrick Lamar. He's not really doing his own thing. And even in the album, there's a couple points where he refers to Drake, to Kendrick, and himself as kind of like the top of the rap game right now, the guys to be. And it seems as if he's putting them up there, and then he's just kind of copying what they're doing and kind of pulling himself to their level. Ugh. A couple tracks later, we get this song called GOMD. And I'm thinking, oh, okay, you know, a little acronym, that's kind of cool. And I'm listening to the song, it's okay, and then Get Off My Dick. Really? I just thought that was kind of not the best. Like J. Cole, you could have thought of something cooler, like you know what I mean? And I think this kind of reflects a lot of the hooks on this album. He's kind of going for this more storytelling side of himself, and he's not really focusing on the hooks as much. Which personally, I'm a fan of the good hook J. Cole. Like I like the huge hooks, the ones that kind of just make you feel some type of way, you know. And I'm not really getting that on this album. Another track I wanted to touch on here on this album is the 10th track, Hello. It's not terrible. I'm okay with it. My only gripe is it's this kind of calm, very chill song like what J. Cole's talking about. And he has it over this Chance the Rapper acid rap esque beat, and it just doesn't match. He's talking about this kind of calm, cool story. It's sad, whatever, and he's kind of like quiet. He's not really going fast, and then he's got this hyper beat in the background, and I'm just waiting for Chance to pop out of nowhere. I'm waiting for the ad lib to just pop out. If you fast forward to the last track on here, Note to Self. Basically, J. Cole takes a track on this album, and it's basically his thank yous, the thank yous for the album, and he goes out and he just thanks all his producers, all whatever, gives a shout out to Drake, Kendrick Lamar, and Wale. You know, it's alright, but it's not really a song. Like I wouldn't go back and listen to it. I'm getting a little bit of Kanye West Last Call on this track. No, he's kind of doing like a roll credits type track. But the thing with Last Call by Kanye, he did such a good job. It was still an enjoyable song, and he still got out all these credits, his storytelling, how he kind of made it. And J. Cole just kind of has this 14-minute, 35-second track where he's just kind of acting a bit belligerent, just shouting out all these random people, and I'm not really like, I'm just kind of sitting there like I didn't feel a part of it. Kanye West just kind of took me and he just kind of brought me along with him, showing me how it happened. You know what I mean? Like I felt like I was a part of it. I enjoyed the song. This was kind of whatever. Like I'm not gonna revisit it. So it's kind of weak for me. Kind of, it was a good idea as a closer, but he just didn't execute properly. Overall, this album was kind of whatever for me. A lot of the tracks were kind of mediocre. They didn't really make me feel some type of way, but they weren't terrible either. Tracks like Wet Dreams was dope for me. It told a good story and all that, but other than that, it wasn't great. I gotta admit, I gotta be honest. So, overall, I think I'd give J. Cole's Forest Hills Drive solid 6 Wet Dreams out of 10 nights. I don't know. That's just how I feel. But let me know what you think. Let me know in the comments. Tran.